So today we're going to discuss the difference between the present indicative and the present progressive. So first of all, let's look at what the present indicative is. That is your basic Spanish 1 present tense conjugations. So if I wanted to say something like, I eat, yo como, you eat, tú comes. So just the regular conjugations, the easiest way to do it. So that is your present indicative. And that is used to describe current actions and situations, also to describe routines. So if I wanted to say, we go to school. We go to school. We start off with, nosotros vamos a la escuela. So it's something that we are doing. It's describing the routines. It's also describing the action and the situation. This is something that we are doing. We go to school. Another example is that I could say, yo estudio español en la escuela. We're going to stick to the school stuff. So, I study Spanish at school. This could also be, I am studying Spanish at school. And even though it's something that I am doing, I'm just saying that it is a situation. I study Spanish in school. What makes it a little bit confusing is that we have something called the present progressive. And that is something that is happening in the moment of speaking. Basically, in English, the present progressive is ing. Okay, ing, something that is happening. But the difference is that it's something that's happening in the moment. So if I look back up here and I say, yo estudio español en la escuela, I am studying Spanish in school, that is something that I'm just typically doing. It's not in the exact moment. Present progressive is if I say, I am speaking right now. And that's when I'd use the present progressive. So let's talk about how to conjugate present progressive. So, step 1 is estar. Because estar means to be. It's that is. So she is. I am. So we want to make sure that we keep this estar, and I'll show you how we're going to conjugate that. And then step 2 is something that we call a gerund. And that gerund is really ing in English. That's what a gerund is. So let's start by conjugating estar. How do we do that? So, hopefully remember this from Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 if you needed a good review, but let's look at that. In the yo form, yo estoy, tú estás, él, ella, usted está, nosotros estamos, en ustedes, ellos, en ellas están. Okay, for the gerund, there are 2 endings for this. If it is an AR verb, we would take off the R and the AR and we would add ando. If it's an ER or IR verb, we would take off the ER or IR and add yendo. Yendo. So for an example, if I wanted to use the verb comer, I want to use the verb comer. So I see that it's an ER verb, and I take off the ER and add yendo. So comer would turn into comiendo. Comiendo. So if I wanted to say, you are eating, I would start with step 1. Estás comiendo. If I wanted to say, I am speaking, it's an AR verb. So I would start with hablar I take off the AR and add hablando. So if I said, we are speaking, estamos hablando. And that is your present progressive here. So let's do an example of this. If I wanted to say, I am, we already used I am speaking, let's use I am singing in class. So let's say at this exact moment, I am singing in class. I would say, estoy cantando en la clase. Estoy cantando en la clase. It's something that I am doing right now. So tell me this. If I wanted to say, I am going to the store. I am going to the store. Would that be present indicative or present progressive? Think about that. Awesome. Present progressive because it's something that I am doing right now. If I said, I am going to the store tomorrow, would it be present indicative or present progressive? Present indicative because it's something that I am doing tomorrow. It's describing that situation. It's not something that I'm doing in the exact moment. So there's your lesson on present indicative and present progressive. Make sure that you write down any questions that you may have and bring it to class tomorrow. Adios!